Good people of Earth, thank you very much for clicking this video. You are indeed a wonderful soul. You see here, we are all about unity, peace, forgiveness, and unconditional love to everybody out there to the world. And we believe by your help of watching this video till the end, we can spread this message to the whole world. Hit the like button and tell us where you're watching from. Straight out of Africa with good vibes. Lots of good vibes, man. Let's dive in. What do they have?
Come si può fare?
Con un fazzoletto.
Con niente, sul serio, eh?
Sì.
Perché mentre che racconti, io un po' di francese lo mastico, no?
Sì.
Mi aggiusto, là mi faccio capire
roba.
un po' di patois
Sì.
a nostro modo e un po' di francese. Io perché addirittura quelli che camminavano con me mi hanno detto te devi smetterla di parlare in quel modo perché loro ti capiscono e noi no. E allora non sappiamo cosa dici. Le neanche sono delle valade, però a forza di girare un po' di nostro modo ce l'ho.
E questo
allora,
che cos'è?
Questo è il vestito della bambola, vedi?
Ma guarda.
Il vestito della bambola che viene d'estate perché ha le maniche corte, vedi?
Sì.
Il bolerino, il curpet,
Sì.
la cota.
Sì.
E per l'inverno invece le maniche lunghe,
E certo.
le calze lunghe, ma se fa freddo bisogna vestirsi bene anche di sotto, allora c'è anche i mutandoni.
Ma
Vedi lì, fino al
sì.
ginocchio.
Guarda
vedi.
lì. Ma
E le giacche.
Oh, that's interesting, man. Good vibes.
So the Anunnaki, they knew that we were more powerful than them. You know what they did? They cut off the ends of our telomeres, right? And this is why human life expectancy is only 77 years. We were created to live for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. But guess what? The sun is activating our DNA. This is why you have to get in the sun. You see, look at this. Look how dark I am. I'm usually a lot lighter than this, but I make sure I'm in the sun every single day, sun gazing. And the more I sun gaze, the more my DNA is getting activated. Guys, I got activated last year to do remote viewing. I can do remote viewing when my eyes are closed and when my eyes are open. Your third eye is a portal to the other dimension. Earth is not the only realm. So come on, get in the sun. Start getting your DNA activated so you can experience what I'm experiencing now.
Oh, okay.
Please take a moment to breathe and enjoy this song for the solar plexus.
This is nice. What do you call that instruments? Well, that's like music for the soul. Sounds
Remember
good.
everything that's going on in the world. There's a lot of fear attached to stuff. So I think that the best way to get through all of what's going on in the world for all of us is, and I've said it many times over and I will continue to say it, keep your life as simple as what you can. Be authentic, bring love and joy into your heart, no matter even if it's for a split second, once a day. It does something. It has a rippling effect. Make your life and your world your heaven on earth, no matter what anyone says. That's you being authentic and following your passion, because you being authentic and just being you, that is a massive, massive part of your purpose. Keep it simple.
Wow. And harvesting a large saguaro cactus. Oh, before they were protected. Oh my god. Oh, these guys, they were harvesting some cactus, and I was surprised to see that this cactus is also a delicacy in some place. That's interesting. Please,
Most
is it a
people
delicacy
can't
from where it come
grasp
from?
that we are all God. Even so-called spiritual gurus insist that we're all separate spirits doing different things, going different places, when the truth is that there is only one universal spirit that exists in everything. One universal spirit vicariously living through all of its creation. It's not rocket science. We're simply God having a human experience.
Oh, what do you think about that?
You understand that we don't actually experience time. Nobody has ever visited the place we call the past or the future. We can think about it, but we can't actually go there.
Yeah.
You understand that? There's no actual experience of a past and the future. All we experience is now. And there's only ever been one now in our life. Since we've been sitting here this afternoon, you understand that we haven't experienced 100 different nows or 1,000 different nows. There's just one now. In fact, your entire life has taken place now, and it's always the same now. It's not going anywhere because there is no medium of time through which the now passes. The now is always in the same place.
Yes.
However,
Oh my god.
when looked at through the prism of a human mind, this eternal or ever-present now, by eternal I don't mean everlasting in time, I mean ever-present now. This eternal now, this ever-present now, this now, not some extraordinary now, but this now, the now that each of us is experiencing, the only now that anyone has ever experienced. When viewed through the prism of a human mind, appears as time.
How?
In other words, dimensionless consciousness, the eternal here and now, when it is viewed through a human mind, it appears as time and space. In other words, a human mind spreads out eternity and makes it look like time. Or thought, to be more accurate, thought spreads out eternity and makes it look like time, and perception spreads out infinity and makes it look like space. So time and space are not qualities, inherent qualities of reality. Reality is made of dimensionless consciousness, but that reality assumes the form of mind and sees itself according to the limitations of the mind through which it perceives, in this case, a human mind. So, from the point of view of the human mind, it is impossible for a mind to know what is going to happen in the future. Because from its point of view, the future is absolutely non-existent. That's from the point of view of a human mind. Yeah? But take the point of view of eternity to the extent that we can. We cannot really think of eternity because everything we think of is filtered through the limitations of our mind. But try to imagine the eternal dimensionless now. Trying to imagine, it's not even a moment called now, because even a moment is something in time. That try to imagine, try to feel, don't try to imagine it, try to feel that this now has no size at all. It's smaller than a point, and yet it is that in which our experience takes place. It's not in time. So from this point of view, experience is not spread out sequentially, one after another. It is more like it's all stacked up in series on top of one another.
Oh, this is interesting.
And therefore, although from the point of view of the mind it is impossible to know something that's going to happen in the future, from the point of view of eternity, future events don't really take place in the future because there is no future. But our minds cannot think of that. Our minds cannot understand that. You've heard me describe before an analogy, which is not a very complete analogy, but it's the analogy of a novel.
Yes.
Which a novel which describes somebody's life. So the novel takes place over a period of 100 years, but the entire content of that person's life is simultaneously present in the novel. But the mind cannot access all that information in one moment. It has to read the novel page by page. So although all of the story is complete in every moment, the mind accesses the story in time. The mind superimposes its own limitations on the novel and makes it appear that the novel takes place in time. It doesn't. The novel it's all there in every moment. So think of, again, it's not an accurate model. I'm not really trying to build a new model of reality. I'm just trying to destroy the old model, the time model. So don't think of this analogy as an accurate model, but think of all events stacked up on top of one another, not spread out in sequence.
So what's going to happen in 5 minutes is happening now?
Exactly.
So it's what we call time is all happening right now.
Yes.
Oh
So-
my God.
There's an infinite amount of things that's happening right now. And from our point of view, some of those things will happen later.
Exactly.
But they're all happening now.
Yes, and due to the structure of each of our minds, we cannot see all those things. We can only access experience thought by thought.
Huh.
It's not possible to have more than one thought at a time. Consciousness can have innumerable thoughts at the same time. Now that, let's say, there are 200 thoughts taking place at the moment, all those thoughts are taking place in consciousness and are known by consciousness. There are, let's say, 7 billion thoughts taking place now. All those thoughts are taking place in the same consciousness, and that consciousness has no dimensions. So they're all taking place at the same place, at the same time. That's from consciousness's point of view. However, our minds, our puny little finite minds, cannot experience 2 thoughts at the same time, let alone 7 billion thoughts. So, in fact, there aren't such things as 7 billion minds. There are just 7 billion thoughts taking place, all taking place in the same dimensionless presence of consciousness. But from the point of view of each of those thoughts, it seems that there are numerous other thoughts or numerous other minds. There aren't even 7 billion minds. From consciousness's point of view, there aren't a multiplicity and diversity of anything.
What?
It's only from the point of view of a finite mind that there is a multiplicity and diversity of things such as thoughts. But it's very, very difficult to think of this, let alone speak of it, because everything we think of is filtered through the limitations of our mind and appears in accordance with those limitations. So I'm trying to give models within the mind of something that is beyond our minds. So it's what I'm trying to do is impossible. But what you say is very you're on the right track when you say that all time takes place now. You're doing the best we can do with the mind to try to describe in the mind something that it is not possible for the mind to understand. So we have to say things like all time takes place now.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
You just to rephrase what I've just said, you and I encourage you strongly, not that you need any encouragement. You are trying to understand with your mind. We are all trying to do this. We are all here. We are all trying to understand something in our minds that cannot be understood with our minds. It's like we've all got orange sunshades on, and we're trying desperately to see the white snow. It's not possible. You cannot see the white snow as long as you're wearing orange sunglasses.
Oh my God, huh? That's mind-boggling.
741 hertz.
Oh man, that sounds good. Oh,
Who
that's
wrote the New
nice.
Testament? No, it's not the disciples of Jesus. What makes me so sure about that, you may ask? Well, let me show you. The Gospels of Mark and Matthew were written in Greek, not just any simple Greek, but Koine Greek. Mark and Matthew were illiterate, and they spoke Aramaic. How could
What?
two illiterate men who spoke Aramaic write a book in Greek? Come on.
Huh.
The second proof that shows the Gospel was not written by the disciples is in the Bible itself, in Matthew 9, verse 9. As Jesus went on from there, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the tax collector's booth. "Follow me," he told him, and Matthew got up and followed him. Do you see how the text goes? Do you notice here that the story is not being told by Matthew? That's a
No.
whole different person writing about what he heard. Otherwise, the text would go like, "As Jesus went on from there, he saw me sitting at the tax collector's booth. Follow him," he told me. And I got up and follow him. I hope your eyes are open now. Those books are like Bitcoin. No one knows who is behind them. Scholars reported that the Gospel of Mark was written around the years 30 and 40 after the death of Jesus. And the Gospel of Matthew was written around the years 60 and 70, almost a century after. Now, think about that. If the Gospel of Mark was written before Matthew, why they placed the book of Matthew before the book of Mark in the Bible? Well, let me tell you. The Gospel of Mark never talked about the virgin birth of Jesus. No virgin birth for him. But later on, about 30 years after, the author of Matthew added a little spice in the story. He literally took the Gospel of Mark, written many years before, and added his touch in it. So when the Council of Rome was assembling the Bible, Matthew made it to the first place. Funny, huh? Now let's talk about Paul. This dude was not a disciple. He didn't know Jesus. He wrote a bunch of letters to the Corinthians, Ephesians, Philippians, and Thessalonians, which have nothing to do with me of the rest of the world. Unless you are a Philippian or an Ephesian, you shouldn't be reading them because they are not for you. Honestly, I don't know
not
why the
really.
believers put their noses in a bunch of letter that were not even dedicated to them. That's quite indiscreet. Let me be the first one to say this out loud. The letters of Paul are not for the Africans or the Americans.
What? Oh my god! Much love to all guys. Please share your thoughts on that. Don't tell me time travel doesn't exist. I'm living in 2024 while viewing a day in 1901. How? How is it possible? Cameras are from at oh, this is not true. Oh my god! 1901, do you mean people had cameras back then and stuff to record video? Oh, please share your thoughts. What type of cameras could they be using back then? Steam powered camera or coal powered type of camera? Must have been really huge if it really was there because 1901 is very far behind me. Imagine the cameras. Oh, do you really think in 1901 cameras used to exist? Oh, please share your thoughts. This is unfathomable. Is this real or some acting? Or if this is real, this makes me really wonder. And this questions my mind and makes me wonder if I'm really. Is this true? How can there be a footage from 1901 recorded by a video back then? Huh? The math is not mathing, but please, good people of Earth, share your thoughts on what you think about that. You see, there's a lot of stuff going on, and oh my god, if we don't help each other to understand these things, we might misunderstand things. Images of an unknown creature. Yeah. Now look at this now. Which type of creature is this? Some creature with red eyes. Oh my god. Is this even real or this is a ghost? Yeah. What? This is crazy. Oh my god. Why is this place? Do you even think this is real? Oh man. Please guys, we should be honest with one another so that even people can be sharing videos that are true and we can understand if these things are really true, because this is really fishy and creepy. Oh my god. Wow. What type of creature is this? In my whole life I've never seen such type of creature apart from in movies. Or have you ever seen or heard of such a creature in real life? Please. Shift on what? Please leave your
Recently in
thoughts.
Toronto with a group of mastermind members who are trying to spread positivity around the world. And that came up as a conversation piece where one person screaming from the rooftops a positive message, a message of light and love, can influence 90,000 other people and souls. And that's on the medium end of things. So people and movements can move millions of people.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important for a positive network and all the other groups that are out there in the world, because each one of us, each group, each grouping has the ability to affect millions of people. And remember, there's almost 8 billion of us out there right now.
Yeah.
And almost all of us are wonderful, connected individuals who are in various states of living their lives with different circumstances, more opportunity, less opportunity. But we need beacons.
Yeah.
That little bean-shaped bird is known as a kiwi. And that is a kiwi carrying its egg. I don't even want to imagine. You ladies keep telling us guys how painful pregnancy is and that we can't do it, but you've never been a kiwi. I'm not saying we could, I'm just saying you can't do that. These orphan ostriches have whiskers like a cat, and they're the only bird with nostrils at the end of their beak. And if after seeing this you still wonder why they call it a kiwi, you can go. Most flying fuckers are born with hollow bones so they can fly. Kiwi don't fly, so they don't have hollow bones. They're solid like ours. Now back to its little encased freeloader, its egg is 15% of its body weight, making it the largest percentage to egg ratio of any bird on the entire planet. An ostrich egg weighs about 3 pounds, and it's only 2% of their body weight. That egg is like a human giving birth to a 4-year-old. And he may be cute, but he's omnivorous, so he eats fruits, vegetables, and even small insects. And did I mention when they scream, they sound like a whipped cream bottle?
Oh, I didn't know that about that bud.
Believe it or not, acne is the easiest thing to heal. I used to suffer with acne. and I used to get stubborn hyperpigmentation until I realized that acne starts in the gut. So lucky for you, if you have acne, that is your body signaling to you that there is something that you're eating that you are allergic to / sensitive to. Give yourself a round of applause if you have acne. I want to talk about my favorite herb for acne, which is sarsaparilla. This is her. She is my holy grail. And I turned her into a powder. But this is sarsaparilla root that's into a powder. This herb will purify the blood, heal the liver, remove the toxins out of your body to prevent pimples, aka acne. And the list goes on. This will provide you with iron. If you're anemic and low on iron, sarsaparilla is going to be your girl. Look at my nails. And look at my edges. They are growing like weeds. Also help treat eczema as well. Do not sleep on this herb, you guys. Do not. And for the people who always think I'm lying, read this. Do your research. This herb is no joke.
Oh, that's interesting. Did you know about that? Oh. What type of animal is that?
That there is a common theme that is weaving its way throughout all of my client sessions. And this week, it's about trusting your awareness, listening to your awareness, to your team, your spirit guides, your angels, whatever that looks like for you. And I had to laugh because after the 16th message I delivered this week around listening to your guidance and listening to the awareness and trusting what you're getting, I had to sit with that and listen myself. It was a couple of weeks ago. I was rehoming some furniture. I was selling some furniture. I just wanted to get stuff gone. It doesn't owe me anything anymore. I've had it for a while. I just wanted some new stuff. And I was getting rid of this chair. And as I'm coming home, I am thinking about this chair and I'm thinking, how am I going to get that downstairs for this person to pick this up? And just then my neighbor pops out and there's Taylor. And I said, hi. He said, hi, how are you? I said, I'm really good. I said, I'm just, getting ready to, people are picking up some furniture. And he's like, that's awesome. If you need help, let me know. And I said, great. And as I turned to go into my condo, I think in my mind's eye, I could get Taylor to help me put the chair in my little wagon, take the wagon downstairs. That would be great. And I shut the door and I think, no, I can do it myself. So I load the thing up and I end up hurting myself. I hurt my toe. And I was so angry because in the moment it happened, I realized that I didn't listen. I didn't listen. Spirit can give us all the answers. They can give us the game plan. They can give us the blueprint. But if we don't receive it, if we don't acknowledge it, if we don't do anything with it, it doesn't go anywhere. So everywhere that you are not listening to your angels or you're not listening to your guides, you're not trusting your gut, let's just cancel, clear, delete all of that. Because when we are asking for help and guidance, they always answer. It could come in the form of a neighbor to help you. It could come in the form of a teacher, a book, a podcast, the awareness. It could come to you in a meditation. You may overhear a conversation. The universe may move a new person into your world, but they always respond. So drop me a comment below. Let me know how you are trusting your awareness, how you are following the guidance from your spirit team.
Oh, hey, have you ever had an instance similar to that? Please leave some comment and like to know. And thanks for watching up to this far, man. You are indeed wonderful. Big up to yourself. Good vibes to you, man. Hit the like button there and tell us where you're watching from. And if it's your first time here, well, feel welcomed, loved, and big up to you, man. Hit the like button, subscribe, and join us. Leave some comment there. You are loved and respected. Big up to all the guys leaving some comments there. Yo, much love. Watch till the end and be a good vibes person from wherever you are watching from. Just keep watching. Oh man, that's smooth. That was smooth. That's nice, interesting.
Who still give their tithes in church in 2024, and they are still claiming that they are Christians. But are they really Christians? Do they even read the Bible? Because if you still give your tithe and you're still going to church and you're still reading the Bible, then you are the kind of people that Jesus was saying they have ears which don't hear, which don't hear. They also have eyes which don't see, ever learning and never coming to the knowledge of the truth. Because why are you ever learning the Bible if it doesn't make sense to you, if you don't understand? You're still following traditions of men. Because your pastor told you to give tithe, then you don't follow up and you don't read and you don't ask yourself, why in the first place am I even giving the tithe? Why in the first place is it written that I should give tithe? Remember, we have two testaments. What is a testament? It's a covenant, an agreement, an understanding between two parties. So there was the Old Testament, which was an understanding or a covenant, a treaty between man and God, which was the Old Testament. And how was it effected? It was effected by blood, blood of bulls and cows and all that. And then we have the New Testament, which was effected by Jesus Christ, by his blood being shed at the cross. So he destroyed the Old Testament, the old law, to bring the new law. And the new law we know is the law of love. All that the new law requires is the law of freedom, the law of love. If you love your neighbor as you love yourself, and you love God with all your heart, soul, and mind, then you fulfilled the new law. The old law required a set of rules that you needed to fulfill. Do not kill, do not steal, do not do this, do that, keep the Sabbath, give tithes. All that was in the old law. All right? And in the first place, why was the law introduced? The Bible tells us why the law was introduced. In the book of Galatians, it tells us the law was set up so that the promise could get to whoever it was promised to. Just like you put some laws for your children so that they will not, watch bad programs on TV. That's why you tell them, don't touch the remote. Don't touch the car. Don't touch this. Does it mean that forever and ever they'll never touch the car? They will never touch the TV? No. You put some laws so that the promise may come. Maybe you bought a car for your child and you want one day that child of yours to be able to receive, that car and be able to drive without killing themselves. That's why you set up some laws. So God set up the laws in the Old Testament so that they can protect his people, so that finally they can be able to receive what? The promise, which was Jesus Christ coming to live within the hearts of men. How could he live within the hearts of men if they don't understand him? Probably they could have died killing each other or robbing each other. That's why he said, do not steal, do not rob, do not kill, do not do what, so that you don't die in the process. And that's why the Bible says, now Jesus is the end of law to righteousness to those who believe. If you believe, then Jesus is the end of the law. Go and read the Bible. In the book of Galatians, it will tell you that Jesus is the end of the law. He came and he fulfilled the law. He did all the requirements of the law so that you don't need to do them. And there are people who still keep on saying, oh, I need to fulfill the law. I still need to give tithes. Others, they come and argue. But you see, tithes and offering, it started from Abraham. Well, where in the Bible is it written that Abraham gave a tenth of all his belongings? No, it's not true. What Abraham gave to Melchizedek was a tenth of the spoils. Do you know what is the spoils? The spoils of war. After he had gone to fight for his brother or his brother's son Lot, and they won the war, the spoils, what they collected, the jewelries, the things, the animals and everything after the war, all those spoils, all those goodies, he collected them and gave a tithe to someone who was called Melchizedek. And it was only once. Show me another verse where Abraham gave tithe. And he didn't give tithe so that he could be blessed. Abraham was already blessed even before he gave the tithe. He was already a rich man. So tithe is not connected with your riches like most of these prosperity churches tell you. It's not connected to your prosperity. Neither is tithe a requirement in the New Testament. As a matter of fact, tithe was introduced for this very purpose. When the children of Israel got into the promised land, God arranged and gave them different land, pieces of land according to their tribes. And there's one tribe which was not given land, which was the tribe of Levi. Why? Because this tribe of Levi was supposed to be the tribe which will be a tribe of priests to connect people with God. So their whole work was to stay in the temple and to be able to be the connectors or the mediators between God and man. All right, whenever somebody comes and he gives his a cow or a goat or a sheep for the forgiveness of his sins, he could bring, and then the tithe could these Levites could be able to help in the process, okay, of that sacrifice. And now when that was cleared up and Jesus came in, and the Bible says that with one sacrifice he entered into the holy place once. Jesus, in the book of Hebrews chapter 10 verse 14, it says that he sanctified, he perfected everyone that is sanctified with his one sacrifice. So Jesus got into the holy place and sanctified all of us. Now we are kings and priests. We are all priests. We don't need Levites anymore to take care of us. And remember, the tithe at that time was to be given to the Levites, the people in the synagogue, so that they can eat, so that they can have food. Remember, they didn't have piece of land. That's why the Israelites were commanded, give 10% of what you have for these people who are helping you out, because they don't have a place to eat. They don't have a land. They don't have all those things. And also the stranger, the widow, the orphans, and the people, who don't have anything, they can be able to eat from there. And there was a command that these Levites not to work. They were told by God, do not work. Your only work is to be at the temple. But right now, the Bible tells us that there is one mediator, only one mediator between God and man, the man Jesus Christ. Now we are all priests. We can enter boldly into the throne room of grace of God. And Jesus right now tells us, the only thing you need to do is give cheerfully. You don't need to be coerced to give. You don't need to be told, come here. It is your moment to give. If you don't give, you will die. If you don't give, you'll not go to heaven. Like I've seen so many pastors trying to rob you of your freedom that you have in Christ Jesus. Right now, it's a matter of doing it, giving to whoever is in need. If he's a poor man on the streets, he's not giving to the church or giving to a pastor. If your pastor is broke, he doesn't have anything, go and give him. But if he has it, then why should you give it to him? What is the essence of you adding another Mercedes on top of another Mercedes and you come to church walking? It doesn't make sense. I think people in church, they have been fooled because they are ever reading but never coming to the knowledge of the truth. Stop giving those tithes. Stop being lied to. Stop being a foolish Christian. Okay? This is what the Bible says in the book of Proverbs. God calls them a sacrifice of fools. You sacrifice yourself, but you're just a fool. A fool thinking. And I know there are many people who will come to the comments and say, oh, I will give my tithe. Oh, Papa said. You're just a sacrifice of fool. You're a fool sacrificing for yourself. There is no need. What are you doing? What is the essence of giving those tithes? Do you think you'll get to heaven or you'll be blessed because of that? We are blessed even before we ask, before we even pray, before we even do anything. We are already blessed. As long as you're a child of God, you're already blessed. So don't be fooled by these people asking you for tithes and all these offerings. It's a must, it's a must. No, give and go as God has put it in your heart. If you don't want to give, well, stay. You are still blessed. You can't be, it's not, you're not your father's child because you give him goodies. No, you're your father's child based on birth. You're not a child of God because you give things. You are a child of God because of birth. You are born again.
Oh, please, what do you think about tithing? Share your thoughts.